Good evening and namaskaram. This is Shobana Sujit Kumar, Founder Director, SR Fine Arts and Krishna Geetam Performing Arts, San Francisco Bay Area. Today, we are celebrating our 10th anniversary, and it is indeed a moment of pride, honor, and gratitude to SRFA. First, I would like to welcome the excellent, vibrant, vivacious committee members of the organization with clapping hands and tapping toes. President Ravi Ranganathan.
Namaskaram.
Vice President and Treasurer Srimati Jayashree Raja.
Namaskaram.
Secretary Srimati Vidyasanandan.
Namaskaram.
Please give them a big hand. Without their support and contributions, this organization would not have come this far. Off to Treasurer and Vice President Srimati Jayashree Raja for the welcome address. Off to Srimati Jayashree Raja.
Namaskaram and greetings. Thank you, Shobana. With utmost gratitude and humbleness, SRFA stands as an organization today celebrating its 10 years of its service to music with the grace of our Acharyan, in whose mighty name it stands. Vedanta Lakshmana Muninda Kripatapotam, Tatpada Yukma Sarasiruha Bringarajam, Trayanta Yukma Kritapuri Parishramamtam, Sriranga Lakshmana Munim Sharanam Prabhati. Today is the concluding day of our 3-day celebrations of the 10th anniversary celebrations. We have 4 esteemed guests who will be joining us. Let me take this opportunity to welcome all of them onto the stage with us. Shri Hari Devanath.
Namaskar.
Shri Nachiketa Yakkundi.
Namaskar.
Srimati Padma Mohan. Shri Srikanth Chary.
Namaskar.
Let me invite Srimati Vidyasanandan, Secretary of SR Fine Arts, to introduce Shri Hari Devanath and Shri Nachiketa Yakkundi. Thank you. Over to Vidya.
Thank you, Jayashree. Namaskarams and good evening to everyone. It gives me immense pleasure to introduce Shri Hari Devanath, musician and guru, Bay Area. Shri Hari Devanath was pruned and nurtured by Sangeeta Ratnakara, Shri Naivalya Santana Gopalan from age 8. Hari feels blessed to continue learning from Naivalya Sir, with whom he enjoys a special relationship as a lifelong disciple, ardent fan and protege. Hari has been performing Carnatic concerts since his teens in Chennai. After moving to the US, he has continued performing at various music festivals and house concerts. He continues giving concerts at many music festivals all over the US and online. Additionally, the duo of Hari Devanath, California, and Vivek Sundararaman, Texas, have given concerts in the Bay Area, online, and at Chennai Music Season. The traditional, rich, and bhava-filled Padantaram, that is a hallmark of Naivalya Bani, is a constant source of inspiration for Hari and Vivek. As the founder of Sri Paduka Academy, Hari has nurtured the growth of several young musicians, many of whom are performing artists and teachers in the US and India. As an encouraging and supportive teacher, he stimulates young minds to appreciate the nuances and the rich heritage that has democratized learning Carnatic music today. He has received many awards for community outreach and seva through teaching and promoting classical Indian arts. We invite Hari to say a few words.
Thank you. Srimate Sri Rangaramanuja Mahadeshikaya Namaha. Srimate Sri Varaha Mahadeshikaya Namaha. I woke up to an overwhelming feeling this morning, and I quickly realized the overwhelming feeling was because I had an RT-PCR test at 6:30 a.m. Before I had to show up here. And as expected, the person who came over to take the test was running a little bit late here in Chennai, where I am, and I'm flying out tonight back home to the Bay Area. And I had this overwhelming feeling, thinking all about only the test and my upcoming travel today and all that. As I sat through this preparation for this program just a few minutes, the clockwork that I experienced and the calm voices that came through my laptop actually helped me think about what this overwhelming feeling was all about. I have no doubt in my mind now that that overwhelming feeling was a feeling of joy, because I will be spending some time, albeit maybe 30, 40 minutes, with friends talking about our favorite subject and celebrating efforts put in by some of our community people to get to where we are today. I am, of course, referring to the 10th anniversary of SRFA, where we are celebrating this not just for SRFA, not just for individuals and artists in the Bay Area, but really for the global community that we have become and the torchbearer of that global community that SRFA has always been. Very few organizations have actually been able to carry that flame through the COVID period. As an organization that supports youngsters, supports amateur artists like me, artists living away from India, and also several professional artists as well. SRFA has the outreach, SRFA has the words of encouragement, SRFA has the spirit of celebration and support, and SRFA also delivers. Worldwide, I continue to hear fantastic things about the students in America, students of Carnatic music, students of Hindustani music, and how the exposure that they have is just as rich as anywhere else in the world, if not sometimes even richer than India. Although it is a common understanding that teachers in various countries like this actually are a huge source of information, inspiration, and knowledge sharing in general, the teachers cannot exist or thrive without the support of organizations such as SRFA. Not only are these organizations just a label, they are actually very involved in how they think through and plan and educate in the process. There are festivals that SRFA has done about composers, about specific events, about just sheerly bringing talent together, either under one physical roof or under a virtual roof through various social media, including Facebook. This rush of feelings that I had, and I hadn't necessarily prepared or typed up anything for me to read out of, and I apologize for that if there was an expectation like that. Among friends, I really feel that I can be myself, talk to these people, and they usually very happily and with open arms take feedback, improve, and share everything that they have put efforts towards. Shobana ji has been someone that has been very supportive and personally has been a huge inspiration for me, not only for challenging me with singing compositions that I have to learn, but also for challenging my students in a similar way. She also is a very fun-loving person, and anytime and every time we see each other in social setups, we have several things as friends to talk about, but invariably the first conversations that she talks about are the next event coming up in SRFA, right? And I'm not meaning that as a matter of cuteness. I'm actually meaning that that is what she's processing all the time. And that's a fantastic thing, because we need spirited and hardworking people that are selflessly putting their time towards efforts such as this. And there is not a single dollar involved. There is no Uncle Sam involved, as far as I know. From as an outsider, I can tell you there is probably a lot of effort in trying to secure music halls, in trying to secure people's schedules together, and trying to get Shobhana ji's favorite lists in place. But other than that, everything else is just people doing things out of passion. And it is no surprise that anytime any artist comes through and works with SRFA, the passion is infectious. It just comes out of the SRFA committee members. Ravi Anna, as I fondly call him, I've known him for a very long time, and much to his pride, I would say the reason why I know Ravi Anna is actually because of Medha, his daughter. I have no qualms saying that. And she's definitely a very, very talented person, and she got me introduced to her dad. And among many things that Ravi does for SRFA, his calm predicament and his calm nature of detailed planning is something that we have all been on the other side of to enjoy. He probably is taking on a lot of stress and putting stuff together, but when he comes through and interacts with us, there is a clear sense of responsibility and a sense of respect for Carnatic music and Hindustani music that just immensely comes through in seconds. So I continue to enjoy that pleasure with Raviji.
Thank you.
I could say that I know Jayashree because of Anirudh, and that won't be a made-up fact. On the other hand, Jayashree, just like Shobhana, has been a huge supporter of our community of musical projects that bring people together, that bring like-minded individuals together, that bring musicians together, that just brings music to people who love music. And Jayashree is a tireless worker, and she's tireless in how she approaches planning, in how she approaches execution, and also in how she approaches communicating with people. When organizations like this step up and try to do what they're doing, interacting with hundreds, if not thousands, of individuals, the way they have to sustain that mode of communication, that mode of interest, and the level of the spirit behind which they work, they have that responsibility. And time and again, SRFA has come through and shared that and one-upped themselves every time. I know Vidyaji only recently, but again, the spirit with which she works, the kind of conversations that we have, and the relaxed mode, she's not tense about anything at all, and that actually comes through very well, especially for students of mine and their families when they interact with this organization. And the students, some of them are performing for the first time. They're not very clear about exactly what to do, although the instructions are super clear and everything is put on the website, and that is shared ahead of time. There is always a challenge, and especially with electronic social media kind of recordings and broadcast, there are challenges to go with that. But throughout the last two years, SRFA has been one of the leading organizations to flawlessly execute such programs and flawlessly bring together people and music worldwide. And I was very happy to hear from an acquaintance here that I just caught up with in Chennai. And we were mentioning that we are likely as a community to start up in-person events. And first steps towards that have been starting. And the person instantly said things like, "Oh, you are talking about SRFA, you're talking about CCC." And this is a person who has probably never boarded a flight to get into the US. And I know that for a fact that that person has never been in California. But that's the impact that efforts that these folks have been putting together has sailed across oceans and touched people in very special ways. And for that, I will be ever indebted to SRFA for doing the human service that they're doing. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Hariji. Let me take the opportunity to introduce Nachiketa Yakkundi. Hailing from Dharwad, Nachiketa Yakkundi was initiated into Hindustani vocal music by his parents. His formal study began in Madras under Shri B. N. Simha and later under Shri B. Hanumanchar. His rigorous and extended pedagogy came under the virtuoso late Padma Bhushan Pandit Basavaraj Rajguru. Nachiketa has performed in several cities across India and North America. A resident of San Francisco Bay Area, he runs the Rajguru Sangeet Vidya Niketan School of Music. We invite Nachiketa to say a few words.
Thank you, Vidya. Thank you, SRFA, for giving me this opportunity not to just speak about SRFA, but really to acknowledge and extend my gratitude for everything that I have experienced through SRFA. And as Hari so aptly put it, the yeoman work that SRFA does it's mostly a thankless job where there is so much effort, there is so much planning, coordination, background work, and yet you see these four people who are here, right? They don't not a wince, right? They're always smiling, they're always calm and collected, and nothing phases them. So that's fantastic. And when the artists who are performing, whether live, social media, Facebook Live, whatever, when they see that, they are they're not distracted by whatever nervousness and anxiety that they're going through, but rather they want to give their best. They want to give their best for SRFA, for the wonderful work that SRFA continues to do. Like Hari also said, the work that these wonderful people here do really has permeated throughout the world. We in the Bay Area, of course, are privileged, spoiled even, to have the auspices of SRFA to perform, to watch, to listen, to really understand and be introduced to new talent, to new artists. Before 2020, we would go to these concerts and watch these youngsters and not so youngsters perform different rags, different pieces, different from different teachers and different styles. And now with the pandemic, when it started, most people, like Hari said, they shut down, but not SRFA, right? In fact, they accelerated their efforts. They reached out to a much bigger community, and they gave a lot of people encouragement a lot of people the impetus to, hey, you know what, this is not so bad after all. We can still perform, we can still keep our tradition, our culture alive, in fact reach a wider audience, right? It is great that we are coming out of this nightmare after 2 years, and again coming together to be in person. And um, I cannot wait. I cannot wait to watch, to listen, and to really be introduced to new forms of new talent, new styles, new everything. Everything is going to get so much better from now on. And I am privileged. I am honored. I am truly fortunate to be associated, to be even a member of this panel here, right, with all these distinguished people. So thank you, Shobna, Ravi, Jayashri, Vidya. It is fantastic. You guys are just awesome. You're just awesome. I have no other thing to say. So thank you.
Thank you, Nachiji. Let me invite Srimati Shobna Sujit Kumar to introduce Srimati Padma Mohan and Shri Srikanth Chary.
Padma Mohan, an IT professional turned art promoter, has been fostering Carnatic music in the Bay Area since 2005. She founded Carnatic Chamber Concerts, CCC, in January 2009, which has become the pioneer platform for budding artists in the Bay Area with 350 plus music learning children currently enrolled and many on the waitlist. Padma is also the advisor mentor for the youth group called YSTCA, Youth Services Through Cultural Arts, which has held several fundraisers from 2012 till date, raising over 100 excuse me, thousand for various local non-profit organizations in the Bay Area. Padma and I connected even before the inception of CCC and SRFA, and this is the first time we are having an organizer on board with us. We are indeed very, very happy to have an organizer, one more on par with us, as SRFA is also an organization. With this said, I would like to invite Srimati Padma Mohan to say a few words about SRFA.
Thank you, Shobana, for the warm introduction. Namaskaram, everybody. Good evening. First of all, thanks for inviting me to share a few words on this momentous occasion. I feel privileged to be sharing this virtual stage with respected musicians, Shri Srikanth, Chary, Nachiji, and Shri Hari. My humble pranams to you all. Shri Hari and Nachiji spoke earlier, said all the wonderful things, covering almost all the great work SRFA has been doing. But Shobana பேச சொல்லியிருக்கா, so ஏதாவது பேசிதான் ஆகணும். I would like to share my thoughts, like she said, from a different perspective, one which I share as a fellow organizer in the Bay Area. First off, congrats to the entire team at SRFA, Shobana, Jayashri, Ravi, and Vidya. Each of you, like Hari said, bring a different talent, and you are an asset to the organization. And I'm sure the organization could not have grown without your collective efforts. So congrats to you all on this 10th anniversary milestone. Shobana introduced me as a personal friend, which is true. அதுக்காக நான் சொல்றதை டிஸ்கவுண்ட் பண்ணாம எல்லாரும் கேட்கணும்னு ரிக்வெஸ்ட் பண்ணிக்கிறேன். We have been enjoying the 10th anniversary special events since Friday, and what an assortment of talent showcase it was, including the last segment we watched the live in Yasam. As a fellow organizer who organizes concerts in the Bay Area regularly, I can say that it takes a lot of time and effort and involves a lot of personal sacrifices, and I'm sure Shobana, the founder, and her team must have endured that to be here today to celebrate 10 years of SRFA. Hats off to you all for that. When the gurus like Shri Srikanth, Chary, Shri Hari, Shri Nachiji put their heart and soul into training young students in this wonderful art form, the students need a place to showcase their talents. As many know already, CCC helps young and budding talents take the stage for the first time, and the opportunities over the years in CCC make them feel comfortable with performing performing with accompanist in front of an audience, the stage dynamics, how to come out of a situation on stage, like if they forget their lyrics or miss a beat in their korvai, etc. But when they feel ready to perform in a long duration concert, they need a platform to host them. And that becomes a necessity, and that's where exactly SRFA rightly fits in. Bay Area வந்து like Hari was saying, அமெரிக்காவோட மயிலாப்பூர்னு சொல்றா. அது எதனால ப்ரொஃபஷனல் கான்சர்ட்ஸ் அட்டெண்டீஸ் யாருன்னு கொஞ்சம் யோசிச்சா எல்லாருக்குமே புரியும். The significance of today's event. To spell it out, Bay Area provides a good ecosystem to help the budding musicians prosper. And one of the key players doing this is Sri Rangaramanuja Mahadesic and Fine Arts. அங்கே ஒரு ப்ரொஃபஷனல் கச்சேரிக்கு போய் உக்காந்தோன்னா அதில் வர ஆடியன்ஸில் significant amount of people are young students who, with their parents, and these students, their parents bring them to expose them to these professional concerts. But on the student pool, the audience for the professional concerts, engirandu varudhenna, all these budding artists, these gurus train, and the organizations like SRFA support, they want to get to the next level. So basically that kind of indicates the significant part SRFA is playing in the community. During the last decade from 2012 to 2022, the 10 years, I can confidently say that SRFA has been the main platform where most of our CC students did their first long concert to prove to themselves and others that they can do this. CCC started, when we started, we had 12 students in 2009, and we have over 400 students, young music learning students, including our alumni today. And I would honestly say that SRFA has kept up with this growing demand tirelessly by creating double headers and triple headers. And they've done this without feeling fatigued. CCC students usually invite Mohan and I for their concerts outside CCC also. And it gives us immense joy to watch them take the stage and do longer concerts, showing their maturity. So that has resulted in Mohan and I attending many of the SRFA events in person over the years. I've always admired the team for their creativity. Like Hari was saying, they come up with various themes. Hari சொல்ற மாதிரி டீச்சர்ஸ்க்கே டென்ஷன் கொடுக்குற மாதிரி தீம் காம்போசிஷன்ஸ் எல்லாம் Shobana will put in their personal request. It makes it interesting for the performers as well as for the Rasikas attending, It encourages the performers to learn something new in that context instead of performing whatever they have already learned. Shobana loves the performers, and that's natural, but she also values the music Rasikas, and it's very obvious, whenever we have gone to SRFA concerts. The warmth with which the team welcomes everyone is unmistakable, let alone the team's passion for dressing up for the concerts in beautiful saris along with the teammates, Keep it up, Shobana. I don't know how Ravi keeps up with this kurta matching, though, in this women-dominated team. Anyway, Shobana does one event dedicated to her mom's memory every year, and I know it's very dear to her. I know you miss your mom, but please know that she's watching you from up above, and she'll be very proud of you today. I've heard some people say that சின்ன குழந்தையெல்லாம் பாடினா ரொம்ப நாளெல்லாம் கேட்க முடியாது எங்களால, for the benefit of those who don't know Tamil. We can sit through concerts of young talents for a long time because they get bored. But one can always find Shobana sitting through all these double headers and triple headers happening back to back, cheering for them with full energy. May God bless the SRFA team, especially Shobana, with a lot of energy and good health to continue doing this. At this wonderful opportunity, I would also like to thank Shobana for making a sincere effort to not conflict with our CCC monthly events ever. She makes a conscious effort to do this and not conflicts with it. And we usually, talk about any change in schedules. We consult with each other, and I appreciate that. And we hope that it continues in the future as well. SRFA team, thank you for that. I also would like to Shobana as a person who is always ready to help others, fellow organizers. When CCC needed help with booking a venue for one of our big events, we needed a nonprofit registered in the Santa Clara County. CCC is registered in Fremont, so it's not there. And guess whom I called? Shobana, and she was super willing to help us out and follow through with the process. The reason I'm saying this is She doesn't look at the fellow organizers as competing people. She has this kind heart and willingness to help fellow organizations whenever they need help. I hope I'll get to return the favor to SRFA someday in the future. Once again, I would like to congratulate SRFA team on this momentous occasion and thank them for their wonderful, wonderful service, which benefits all of the music students, teachers, and the Rasikas of the Bay Area. On behalf of CCC and our large young student base, wishing SRFA the very best for many more years serving the cause of Carnatic music. I'd like to thank Shobana and the team for giving me this lovely opportunity to share a few thoughts today. And thank you all once again. Namaskarams.
Thank you, Padma, for your great speech and for acknowledging SRFA so much. We are very, very happy to help anybody for that matter. Thank you. Vainika and Guru, Sri Srikanth Chary, is the disciple of the legendary Lalgudi Jayaraman sir. Srikanth had adapted this captivity style to the veena while preserving the instrument's traditional purity. He has delighted audiences all over with his scintillating music. He has accompanied eminent vocalists like Srimati Charumati Ramachandran, Srimati Sudha Raghunathan, Sri Papanasham, Sri Ashok Ramani, and the Karnataka brothers, and not to mention our own dear Hema Auntie. With both Hema Auntie and Srikanth did a concert in SRFA 2 years in a row, and they donated the proceeds to SRFA, for which we are grateful to Srikanth and Hema Auntie. I'm sure she's watching us grow, and she's blessing me personally all the time. She has been a great, great motherly figure to me, especially after my mother passed away. I would like to mention this especially because Padma mentioned my mother, and it kind of inspired me to say this. In 1989, Srikanth established a music school, Nadanidhi, to pass on the rich heritage of Carnatic music. Srikanth students have performed widely to critical acclaim. They've also won prestigious awards in national and international music competitions. Srikanth is the first guru in the entire world to acknowledge the existence of SRFA in his daughter and disciples profile, Priyanka Chary. We've had many arangetrams from the Nadanidhi stable, and we've had even during all first time introductions, even for the online platform. With this said, I would like to welcome Srikanth Chary to say a few words. Namaskaram, Srikanth.
Namaskarams, everyone. Thank you, Shobana, for the very sweet introduction. First of all, a huge congratulations to SRFA and the board for this really momentous milestone. Shobana, Ravi, Jayashri, Vidya, what a phenomenal service you do. I think all my esteemed panel speakers over here have covered a lot of ground. The advantages of going last, or I'm struggling to figure out what points to cover that my three esteemed speakers before me have not already covered. But let me actually just pause over here and reflect this great panel that I'm a part of. And I think that itself speaks volumes of SRFA and the way SRFA runs as an organization. So I am very fortunate and privileged to be here on a panel with a Carnatic musician and guru, a Hindustani musician and guru, and a Sabha organizer. And for SRFA to bring all these diverse perspectives, vocal and I'll throw myself in as an instrumental guru. So to combine vocal, instrumental, Carnatic, Hindustani, collaborate with fellow organizers, I think that says something about the success of SRFA. A very open organization, really welcoming different genres, different styles, organizers. You know, we are all part of one global community. And I think this, if I can share my personal view, this is the openness and the vision that is responsible for SRFA's success. And I definitely hope and pray that the basic fundamentals that SRFA is built on continue to herald in future successes. And I'm very, very confident that with such a glorious board of Shobana, Ravi, Jayashree, and Vidya, and their warm and open attitude, we are going to see many, many more celebrations for decades to come. So congratulations and all the best on that. We've heard a little bit about this labor of love of the organization. I think both Hari and Nachiji just implied, if not overly stated, that this is indeed a thankless job, and one can't agree more. If your heart isn't into supporting music and supporting the music community, there's no way you can survive in an organization like this, because it's tremendous work. It requires a lot of energy. It requires passion. Something that you can see in every single board member of SRFA. As we're talking about energy and passion, I'm just going back to coming to SRFA concerts at the Divine Science Center, right? And I'm getting these visions of the performer sitting there on stage. Shobana will be back over there, and suddenly she'll hear strains of her favorite song, and off she goes, marching down the aisle to go sit in the front row and really enjoy the music. That passion really inspires the performer to give it their best. They see how much joy it's imparting, and when Ravi gives his vote of thanks, and he talks about enjoying a particular Dikshidhar composition, or if you perform Riti Gaule, I think Ravi is in seventh heaven. Right, so we all know some of these things about our board members that really inspire the performers to give it a best. How often do you have organizers who are really into the music and come and talk to you after that and say, I really enjoyed this. This is my favorite thing. I remember MS Amma singing this song, and you really brought out that, getting feedback like that and just encouraging our, be it youth or be it senior musicians, whoever it is, we all thrive on this making an impact and connecting with an audience. So that is what, Jayashree and Vidya are up there, and I have lots of conversations. I'm sorry, Vidya, I have to confess, I need to make time to have more in-depth conversations with you. But I've been in the back talking to Jayashree about certain ragams and things that come up, and it's just such a joy and such a positive environment that you really foster over here with SRFA. And these are the things that make it such a joy for us as gurus and musicians to come and perform for SRFA, and for us to train our students to perform in this really supportive, open atmosphere. It's the service that you do to these budding musicians is priceless. The number of students who have grown with the organization. I've seen students, whether it be from other gurus or my own school, give small beginning concerts for SRFA, and then just blossom and build their skill set, and really getting excited about coming and sharing that with the SRFA audience and the SRFA organization. Shobana referred to a couple of arangetrams. I'm happy to state that I've had students perform arangetrams with us, SRFA, even though it's not been called that officially, right? What is an arangetram after all, except the experience of ascending the stage and demonstrating your mastery of control of what you've learned to date. It's definitely not an ending exercise, it's a continuing process. And whether it be giving a 1.5 hour kacheri or giving a 2.5 hour kacheri with the Ragam Tanam Pallavi, it's these experiences that build up to, and whether it's my own children who have benefited from this experience, my students of other gurus, it's really heartening to see what an impact it's made on all these musicians. So thank you for providing that glorious opportunity. And we've talked about having these thematic concerts or special song request lists from Shobana, which is always exciting because it means getting the students ready for something new that they're learning, and it's a great growing opportunity. Picking up some rare kritis or really delving into some composers that people might know on the surface, one or two compositions by some of the less performed composers, but you have kind of a thematic thing on a particular composer, you get to delve a little bit more into depth, and it's such an enriching experience for everyone, for the performers, for the gurus, for the audience. We all grow, and Shobana, if I can say that, I'm happy to see that I've seen growth on your side because now you actually like Karaharapriya. And you enjoy Karaharapriya, you enjoy Mandari, things that I know you've said, please, when you have your students perform, can you please not have them do Karaharapriya, really. And now you come and say, I've really learned to like Karaharapriya a lot. So can you please have somebody perform Karaharapriya for me? Now, the next step, however, Shobana, is I'm expecting a nice request for Yentu Vedala or Nannu Palampa. So I'm waiting for those requests to come through from you. But thank you for kind of providing these lists. I know I tease you about that, Shobana, and sometimes Deshri and I kind of talk about it in the back of Kacheri as well. But all kidding aside, all your requests are really great learning opportunities for everyone. So please keep them coming, and we'll keep teasing you about it as well. I think the speakers have also touched on the global reach of SRFA, and the pandemic, even though it's really impacted our ability for live concerts, has opened up other platforms, and I think it's showing a robust side and a very resilient side of the music community in terms of how we take something like this and turn it into something positive. And SRFA has done a phenomenal job of that, taking the standard in-person concerts with double headers, triple headers, but now kind of opening it up to a global audience. And you have really made SRFA a household name in music communities across the globe. And so congratulations and kudos. That's not a mean feat, and I'm sure it's taken a lot of effort. And speaking of effort, I've been on the WhatsApp group for organizing concerts, and the amount of attention to detail from each committee member, each board member, to make sure that all the instructions go through, all the children are really well prepared. Do they know how to do Facebook streaming? How are they going to do this? Can you show me how they're going to do this? Asking the gurus, can you please work with your student to make sure that they're really prepared for this? That attention to detail, I think, sets everybody up for a really good concert experience. And so thank you for taking the trouble to do all that. We're always on our WhatsApp group a half hour before the concert, making sure that everything is set up right, and all the descriptions are entered well, and constantly texting back and forth once the concert starts. Is the sound okay? Is everything okay? And sometimes you get the tambura is a little too loud, or can you increase this volume a little bit? And so thank you for taking that time to give us that feedback, because that's what makes that concert really sound good and give a wholesome experience for the listener. The cheerfulness and the supportive atmosphere, incredible. And one thing that strikes me is anytime anything happens, I'm always struck and totally puzzled by Shobna when she says, thank you for supporting SRFA. Because I think and say, why should she be thanking me for supporting SRFA when it is the organization that does such a tremendous service, right? We should be thanking you for supporting the music community and the humility and the strength of the the sincerity of the organization to say, we kind of depend on you for support is very striking, because I would never think of it that way, Shobna, honestly. When you say thank you for supporting SRFA, it always takes me by surprise. And I always have to say that is so sincere of an organization to kind of project that attitude. So I would like to convey that sentiment to every single board member is, I know you take a lot of efforts and a lot of pains, and sometimes it does seem like a thankless job, and you might kind of get together and say, why are we doing this, right? But the answer is, it's a tremendous, tremendous service, and we as gurus, as musicians, as the rasikas of this community, maybe we don't do a good enough job to convey back to you how much we really appreciate what you do, but we do. So please, I hope you never take us for granted, and we will always be there. In your words, we will always be there to support you. And it's not us supporting you. You are actually supporting us. So whatever we can do to reinforce that feeling of gratitude that we have, please do take our overwhelming thanks for that. Congratulations, SRFA, and our best wishes for many, many more celebrations. Looking forward to those.
Thank you, Srikanth. It was very nice of you. Definitely, my next request will be an RTP in Karagarpriya for sure. You can take it now. Before I give the mic to Ravi for the vote of thanks, I would like to sincerely, with profound gratitude, with all honesty and goodwill, please give the committee members a big hand, Ravi, Vidya, and Jayashree. They were supporting SRFA even before they became officially board members. Vidya and Jayashree, we are longtime friends. I got to know Ravi just as a music lover, attending concerts and all that. I still remember the second anniversary of SR Fine Arts. It was dedicated to my mother. Ravi was there the whole time from 8:30 to 10 p.m. He was supporting the audio. I asked him for help. He did that. For this, he deserves a special applause. I've been wanting to acknowledge Ravi. When I actually approached him to help me when I went to Ravi's house to get a paperwork signed when it became a non-profit, Ravi didn't even read the sheet. He said, Shobana, what is there to read? You're doing something for the community. I would just do it. He didn't even read. He signed the paperwork. So did Vidya, so did Jayashree. Vidya said, show what, Shobana, you're my friend. I want to support your passion. And Jayashree deserves a very special mention because she's been driving me to concerts all the time, because as all of you know, I don't drive on the highway. So this is probably the something I would really like to tell about Anirudh too, because Anirudh used to go for concerts from a young age. In any case, if I'm not there in any concerts, or if she's getting ready for a concert, first thing Anirudh would ask, Amma Shobana auntie varala? That's what he would ask. Varlen show music and Shobana auntie not being there, that's very, very surprising. That's what he would say. I think Hari must be very happy with this, what he says. And I would like to acknowledge the spouses of the guest speakers, Viji, Poonam, Priya, and Mohan. I share a friendship with them. They have also been greatly supportive. And one common thing about all these gurus is the full-length concert and long concerts of all their children, it has been SRFA first. Priyanka, Ambu, Rajiv, and Ananya. In fact, when Ananya invited me for the Arangetram, Shobana auntie, நான் முதல்ல உங்க சபால தான் பாடினேன் 1 hour. நீங்க கண்டிப்பா வரணும். Uncle Kutin Varnu, she made me give the phone to Sujit and she invited Sujit personally. And we've had Ambu's harmonium concert also in SRFA, the first one. And Nachi really acknowledged that with pride, that debut of both vocal Hindustani and harmonium, it's SRFA. One thing I want to specially acknowledge about them is they only asked for the time slot and the duration. They have never expected any special treatment in the time kudungo, on the time kudungo. And because I try to run by them because they have classes, they say, "Illa paravalla, you're giving us the opportunity. Just tell us the time, we would adjust accordingly." Coming back to Padma, Padma knows how much I love music and especially Ragam Atana. Inga Patalu, Yar Padinalu, Nida Ketapio, and Ekton she would always, even in SIFA, somebody sings, even senior musicians, she would come back and say, "Oh, Nida Ketia Vari, then Atana, Onya Onda, and there." And as Srikanth was just teasing me about Karavira Priya, Padma has also done that in the past. And Srikanth and Hari have always honored my request. With Nachi, I've asked for Miyanki Malhar, Vrindavan Sagar, because I don't know much of Hindustani, because my exposures to first Hindustani guru and in the entire world is only Nachi. Until I started listening to Nachi, I have not been listening to Hindustani at all. I've never attended any Hindustani concert. And Nachi is the first Hindustani guru to support SR Fine Arts. It was his student Shishir Rao who performed as part of SR Fine Arts' first anniversary celebrations. Once again, thank you all. I would like to invite the President, Sri Ravi Ranganathan, to render the vote of thanks. Thanks. Welcome, Ravi.
Dear friends, including esteemed special guests of today, Namaskarams to all of you. As most of you know, pandemic or not, SRFA marched on, and here we are celebrating its 10th anniversary. You have only the authority for action and not to its results, says Bhagavan in Bhagavad Gita. We did our part of scheduling and running the concerts. All of you provided the good results by participating on and off the stage, working in and out of the concert hall. For that, on behalf of SRFA team, I would like to give our heartfelt thanks. I take this opportunity to thank all the musicians who showed interest and performed in SRFA over the past 10 years. From very young to senior students, young adults from Bay Area, other parts of North America, as well as from outside USA. Behind these music talents were so many gurus. We thank all of them for pushing the kids to rise to the occasion and perform very well on the stage. We also had the pleasure of many gurus performing under our banner. Thanks to all of them. Gurus alone cannot achieve this unless the parents drive the young kids back and forth to the music school, bring them to the concert halls, etc. We thank all the parents who believed in SRFA and pursued opportunities for their kids to perform on our stage. Many also went beyond that by volunteering during various festivals. Without the parent volunteers, stage setting and various festivals would not have been successful as they were. Thanks to all the volunteers who helped us over the past 10 years. SRFA is a non-profit organization and contribution from many have helped us to bear the costs and provide the best we can do. We thank all those who have supported us financially. With musicians on the stage, parents and volunteers on the back of the hall, if there were no rasikas in the middle to appreciate the concert, the music, then it will not be a concert at all. So we thank all the rasikas who have supported our concerts in person and online. We continue to seek your support. Your support is what is pushing many young musicians to excel. Thank you all. As part of the 10th year anniversary celebrations, we are truly honored to have Sri Hari Devanath, Sri Nachiketa Yakkundi, Srimati Padma Mohan, and Sri Srikanth Chary here with us and a huge thanks to all of them for spending their valuable time and sharing their experiences with SRFA with elaborate and kind words, kind and unique experiences and observations with a broader audience. Thank you all. I would like to thank all the musicians and our patrons who congratulated and blessed SRFA through their videos, which we were happy to share in our Facebook pages. Finally, it is my duty to thank my wonderful board members. Shobana for ever being on the phone during earlier years and subsequently adding WhatsApp to constantly communicate with the external world. Her passion for this music has no limits. She has expanded her horizon over the last 10 years, especially during the last 2 years. She never hesitates to pick up the phone or call a Zoom meeting to talk to the board members and get their input on various issues and ideas. During the pandemic period, with hundreds of concerts getting scheduled, Jayashree also stepped in and engaged with the external world. They were the ears, literally and figuratively, for SRFA. Vidya is always there to arrange Zoom meetings and giving her opinion on issues. My personal thanks to all three of them for tolerating me and working with me. In this celebration, we take great pride in acknowledging the best halves of SRFA committee members, Srimati Prema Ranganathan, Shri Sujit Kumar Sambat Kumar, Shri Raja Ranganathan, and Shri Sanandan Swaminathan. Once again, thank yous to all those who performed under SRFA banner, gurus, parents, volunteers, and contributors for supporting SRFA over the last 10 years. With this, our 10th year anniversary celebration is coming to an end. Hoping to see you more and more in person during future concerts. All our Facebook live concerts and events are available in our YouTube channel, Sri Ranga Ramanuja Mahadesikan Fine Arts. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Have a good evening and good night. Namaskarams.